going live right now. Everybody, welcome Kim Heise. She's a noted South Florida artist. We're so happy to have her here. I'm going to transition the split screen over to Kim momentarily. But please, if you can, donate to Couple of Fern. This is a beautiful online platform. We would love to have it serve our community, support our artists. Matter of fact, in case everybody donates today, we would like to use those donations towards a membership for Kim Heise with Couple of Fern chapter, as well as another artist by the name of Kevin Songer, who is having some health issues right now. So we would love to support our donations through membership. So please, if you can, please donate. I'm going to kind of change the split screen and turn it completely over to Kim Heise. Kim, take it over, okay?
All right. I am just setting it up on my phone. Do you see the screen option? I think you have to change the screen. There it is. Yeah, I think you have to change the screen, the little thing on the bottom. Okay, I got it. All right, so welcome to my studio. Got a window over here, a painting right in the middle. Over here is the wall where stuff gets taped. Bathroom door, computer desk. And today I'm going to be working on this panther painting. So here's what it looks like so far. And I think you're looking at it backwards, which is fine. It should look good either way. And today I'm gonna be painting this saw palmetto frond right here because it needs some more color. Right now this painting is kind of in the early stages. I'm working on the fur and the fur on this guy as well. Everything's a little bit light and washy. This is the sketch that I'm working on, that I'm working from. So you can see that the palms are a little bit greener and everything's a little bit more saturated. I'm not sure if I'm going to go this saturated, but I'm going to work, I think, a little bit on getting it a little bit there. And then I normally cover places that I'm not working on with some paper if it's around where I'm painting, so I don't get any paint on it. So that's why we have these here. These are the reference photos I'm going to be working from today. I took these particular photos at my parents' house. I've also, go to parks and I take photos. Anything that I can't take a photo of myself, I usually just create a Frankenstein of all different kinds of photos. Just bits and pieces here and there, cobbled together. For instance, there's an alligator under all of this stuff, and it's made by using all of these different reference photos. Hold on, there we go. Everything's opposite. So yeah, baby alligator down there, using a lot of different reference photos. Same thing for these palms. I'm using all these reference photos here. Okay, I'm gonna just put my camera right here on my little tripod. and we'll get started. Okay, see it? Okay, so here we have, can't really see my art stuff here. Okay, so let me try to get all this stuff in the shot so you can see it. See that? Okay. So just turn this over. All right. I'm going to be working with this part here, right over here, making it a little bit darker. In fact, I'm going to move all this stuff over for a minute. Okay, so right here I have some sap green. Turn this light on. Which is going to be the main color I'm using. Also going to be using a little bit of pearlane green, I guess it's called. I don't know how to pronounce that. But it's just a little bit darker color right here. And then normally what I do is I test it. I have a little piece of test paper here, dry on the back, but test it here to make sure I have like the right amount of water and the right amount of pigment before I get started on the painting. Okay, so I'm just going to get started here. Using this brush is by an artist named Paulina Bright, very popular artist on Instagram. And she makes this amazing brush that holds so much water. Definitely recommend it if you're a watercolor artist to use this brush. Got a very fine point on it. It's important to get in that little corner right there. Okay. And there's a little vein right here. So I'm gonna try and create that vein just by not painting it. I'm gonna paint around it. There's like gonna be a little line right in the middle here. I've been meaning to paint this frond for a long time, but I had been like holding off on it because I wasn't quite sure exactly how I wanted to complete it. I kind of liked it kind of washy like this, but I finally decided that I needed to get it a little bit more saturated because the panther was starting to get really saturated. So I'm going to punch it up just a little bit. A bit too much. Okay. I might come back in here and darken this one too, but we'll see. So let's see what else I want to do. I want to this shadow up here.
Yeah, see how long that lasts.
So for right here, I'm gonna make it darker here and lighter down here, but what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cover the whole thing with like a light wash of water. I want it all to be wet. Then I'm gonna drop the color into, so it's like a wet on wet technique. That's why this brush is really good for this type of thing, because in watercolor, you have to do things really fast in order to get the right kind of technique. Because you got water drying on your paper, and this brush, it holds so much water that you're able to do a lot more without dipping into the water as much. So there we go. Actually, I kind of like the color. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker, but first I'm gonna drop in the dark color up here. And see what happens. Hopefully it'll spread out nicely. If not, kind of finagle with it.
In a whole different lot of ways. That's not right.
Kind of nice. I think it'll dry nice. I'm gonna also put a little bit on the bottom here.
Yeah, true.
Hold on a second. All right. Hey, Teresa. It's my sister. Thanks for joining me, Cheese. It's so funny that you can hear Jared. He's supposed to be watching this. Must have forgotten. Teresa, if you could text Jared and tell him to turn on the YouTube thing. It'd be great. Let me know if you guys can see everything, so I can move it down a little bit if you'd like. And if there's any other thing, like if you can't hear me, let me know. If you have any questions or anything, just type them in there and answer them as I'm going along. I want this to be a little darker up here. Okay. Hey, Kristen. Okay, let's see what else. We got that. Up here, I'm gonna do the same thing I did here. I'm gonna wet it, and then I'm gonna make this part darker than that part.
I know like people say he sucks, and maybe he does, but I think it's like, I don't know. If he went to the Giants, it would have been a different story. I think that too, if he got there, he should have won.
There's so many, I live in an apartment building and there's so many people outside with like kids and dogs. It's funny. Like walking past the window. You can hear a dog outside. Okay, now I'm gonna drop in some color right in the middle. Yeah, I can read the comments, so if anybody has any questions, I can answer them for you. Kind of nice to be able to see it here and then also on the screen because you can kind of get like a bird's eye view of it. There you go. Okay. All right, what am I do next? I am going to, so there, just like this one, there's a vein in the middle, but it's going to be a darker color. So I'm going to leave this alone for now and let this dry. So I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to come back down here. So usually what I do when I do some paintings where there's different blotches of color close together is I'll let one side dry over here, then I'll come over here and I'll do something else for a little while. So everything down here is going to be pretty dark. Okay. All right. Oh, while it's still wet, I'm going to add some more color here. Um, I'm not self-taught. I took a lot of oil painting classes, but then to learn watercolor, I learned with Heidi Willis. She puts out these amazing watercolor videos. I mean, her techniques are amazing. She's an amazing artist. So I learned by doing her videos. Okay. I've definitely learned a lot just by painting, though. But I don't know if I would be able to do what I do, some of the techniques, without learning about it from Heidi Willis, because There's so many different little things about watercolor you just don't think about. It's like a chemical reaction, kind of. All right, let's see what else. We're gonna have it a little bit dark here. Fade up. Okay, now that, wait, I'll just put one thing over here. Okay, now that the other side has had a chance to dry, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna do another layer right next to the one I just did, since it won't bleed. Kim has been painting since she's been little, but so have I. Let's say. I don't know. I really think that anybody can learn whatever they want. It definitely wasn't something easy to do. It took a long, long time for me to be able to draw at this level. It was always something that I knew I wanted to do, and I practiced every single day. And same thing with the watercolor. I had a goal, and I just practiced at it. So I don't know how that would be different from anything else, really. I think what makes it different is that I really enjoy doing it, and so I want to do it a whole lot. But I think it's just like anything else. You know, if you practice, you get really good. Although there's a bit of magic to it, so it feels like it's coming from somewhere else too. Okay, what am I doing next? Add some color here. I really like doing these palm fronds. Did them a lot in the key deer painting, the one with the big deer. They're just really fun. I wish it was easier to draw palm trees, like the whole thing though, because you don't really get a good idea of what it looks like the whole thing. They're kind of like an awkward shape. They're skinny on the bottom and then with a big puff on top. Okay, I like that, yeah, okay. Coming back to the other side. So you're gonna see switching around to both sides a lot to finish this. Letting one side dry and then coming back to it. Definitely looking forward to this painting being done. I've still got a long way to go, but this palm frond part has been a significant obstacle for me to overcome in this painting. I've been wanting to do it in order to figure out what kind of colors I should put everywhere else. It's been kind of like a roadblock a little bit. Not really knowing how I wanted to finish these palm fronds, but I think I just want to make them green and not green. And add some contrast to it, like in the panther, to like match the panther. Okay. Be darker up here. Been really looking forward to drawing this panther for like a long, long time. I think I started the sketch in January or even December of last year. And it actually went through many, many different stages, the sketch. I took reference photos from a bunch of different photos to create this panther. I feel like that's a little dark. I'm not sure I'm going to go that dark anywhere else. Okay, but I'm going to get started here with some other colors. Okay. Make the vein. Okay. It's getting green. Alright, let's take it down here and let's bring in a little bit of blue. Like a cobalt kind of color too. And I want it to be a little darker in here. There we go. This is water-based. I did do oil paintings for a long time. I really love oils. I think they're really beautiful. Had to switch to it though because I was having like tendonitis kind of problems, and for me personally, it was really becoming really difficult for me to use the oil paintings. You have to like drag it across the paper a little bit more than the watercolor kind of. You don't have to like pull it across the paper as much; just kind of glides across a little bit easier. So it helped me to heal while I was healing, and then I just kind of stuck with it. I think the watercolor really lends itself to doing illustrations like this, doing wildlife paintings, because it's like Audubon-like. I really like when people use oils as well because you're tapping into another art tradition, and then you're bringing animals into that, which I think is really cool. Okay. Hold on. Camera's frozen. There we go. Better? Okay. Yes. Black panthers are very endangered. They are at kind of a cusp right now, where if they lose any more habitat, they're going to be pretty much on the road out of here. Very important to protect the habitat that we have left for them, which is going to be hard because people want to live on the West Coast and they want to live in urban sprawl, and the culture in Florida is and has been for the past couple hundred years since we started damming up the Lake Okeechobee and making canals is growth. That's been the culture, and not letting the environment get in your way of that. Sort of like man's triumph over nature. Definitely the culture in Florida, then and now. So it's gonna be really hard to protect any land that's left. there's about 100 panthers to 200 panthers in the wild at any given time, accounting for the car crashes that are their main mortality cause. And, they can just kind of maintain their numbers at that level right now. So you can imagine anything else that gets built in their habitat is going to really kind of put the nail in the coffin for them. So that's why I'm doing this piece, actually, is to draw attention to that. I really want them to survive. Another reason why I'm doing this piece is to talk about the toll road that's going through their habitat. So there's an opportunity for a lot of action and very important action that needs to be taken to prevent that toll road from going through. And I'm going to be talking about that all year, basically. Every time I talk about this piece, I'm going to be talking about that toll road. And when I can, sharing ways to take action. Yeah, I love oil painting. I used to do it. That was the medium I was using in college, actually. Yeah, oil painting is amazing. I love that you can start with just with something and then end up with something completely different. I used to like to paint my canvases like a orange color or like a really vibrant color, and then do the painting on top of that. You could get like little bits and pieces of that underpainting in there. With watercolor, you can't do that. You can do some layers though, which is really interesting. Watercolor has like a vibrancy to the white that you cannot get in anything else, I feel like. I loved how forgiving oil painting was though. This is definitely more like you have to like, I don't know, for me it feels like more analytical than oil painting, because you have to really like think about what your next step is before you do it. Because once you started something, you can't take it back. It's like that's the way it's going to be now forever. But I mean, oil painting is kind of like that too. You don't really think about it, but your choices do add up. And it just feels like that's not happening. So for me, it felt more relaxed and intuitive. I feel like I definitely get something different out of using watercolor than painting in watercolor is a totally different experience. The way you think about it, you kind of hold your breath a little bit, I feel like. And then there's some areas where you know, something happens and that's just the way it's gonna be now. You're gonna have to like let go a little bit of your expectations. Yeah, definitely is very focusing. Sometimes, it's a little bit strange though, sometimes when I'm painting so much time goes by, it's like, I feel like the whole day, like where did it go? There we go. Okay, I really want to work here, but I'm going to save it. And I'm going to add some blue. I like the idea of adding blue here, especially with the fronds that are kind of further away. Like right here. Let me make this blue. The bluish green. Make it a little darker on the bottom. And then I'll come back for this later. I'm going to do good work here. I'm going to leave that whole area. I'm going to think about it. All right, I'm going to come down a little bit. You won't see the palette. And work in this area here. So this is the saw palmetto's flowers. They have its little wispy white flowers that right now have this masking fluid on them. So I'm going to be able to paint right on it and it will stay white. And I'll take it off later. Although it's been on there now for so long, I'm a little worried about it coming off. So anyway, get started. This area is going to be blue, kind of like the blue here. So this area I'm going to make more green, and then this area I'm going to be making that more blue. So I really want the white flowers to stand out. I'm going to paint in this area here. I'm not exactly sure. Look, if this is going to be a palm frond or something in the background, probably. But I don't need to worry about that. Just going to paint right up to the masking fluid. And then leave the other side of the frond for later. I'm going to paint that right away. I'm going to paint right here, kind of around this V. I like the way that V came out. It's kind of nice that you can get really desirable effects with watercolor in a very short period of time. That's what's nice, is that that's the draw for me with watercolor, is you get these really nice marks, these really intuitive looking marks. It is a little nerve-wracking to create them though, because you're not entirely sure if what's gonna happen or what it's gonna look like. But those I feel like are my favorite types of marks. I mean, you can definitely anticipate a little bit what it'll look like. You know, like the saturation. Mainly what I'm looking for is like a nice transition between like a light side and a dark side in these little blocks of color. Which you can only get by working really fast. And then dropping in color on one side and see what happens. Okay. Now I'm starting to think about how I want to finish off this area. I think I'm going to make a little frond coming up behind here. Move my light a bit. Better. Here we go. This is a bee. It's supposed to be a native bee. I'm not sure exactly what kind though. I used that picture of the bee for another painting. I can't remember what it's called though. Okay, I'm gonna paint right here. Let's make this area green. Actually, this area, this little frond right here, I'm gonna make yellow, so I'm gonna paint some green back here around it. There we go. Thanks. I really like this butterfly here. I think that one came out really good. A really cute one. This one's pretty cute too. This one is a monk skipper, palmetto skipper, and Bartram's hair streak butterfly right here. I think what I'm going to do is make this frond light on this side, dark on that side. Without a water wash. This brush. Try to get some color in here before it dries. Hopefully that'll spread out nicely. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna make this yellow, this yellow, this yellow. So I'm gonna work right here. I'm gonna make that very green. Normally, I listen to music while I'm painting. I think I'm gonna start listening to audiobooks. Try that out. I heard there's a website that you can listen to books in the public domain for free as audiobooks. So, looking at my favorite genre is fantasy. So if anybody knows any really old fantasy books, you know, always on the lookout for really good fantasy. Okay, so for this yellow frond I was talking about, I'm going to use green gold. which is really yellow. But it's like as opposed to like the cadmium yellow, which is very opaque, this is very translucent. It just mixes really well, it's very consistent with sap green, and just by itself it's very nice. I didn't like it for a long time, but the color goes so well with the other greens that it's hard to dislike it. Okay, there you go. In fact, I'm gonna make it green on one side, yellowish on the other. Green on the side of the panther, I think. Okay. Well, I think that throws them in. There we go. Letting me know my camera's battery is unhappy. There we go. What is the URL to what? What are we talking about? Can't remember what we were talking about. There we go. There's the front. Oh, the audiobooks. I can't remember what they're called. But I think if you just type in uh, free public domain audiobooks, I think it'll come up. There's a website that does that. It's very cool. I just looked at them yesterday. Okay. Okay. So this area here, there's definitely a lot more frond going on here than I have already painted. But I think I'm gonna come back up here and start working in this area a little bit. Just kind of fill it in a little bit. Trying not to get my arm in and everything. Move my light back over here. In the key deer piece, when I was painting around the key deer, I added some hair around it, so I was able to paint around like little pieces of hair. But in this one, the panther is much farther away. Like it's not full size, you know. It's not like I'm painting this to scale. So I don't think I'm gonna do that for this one. Doesn't seem like it'll happen like it wants to happen naturally anyways for some reason. Okay. Some more green here. Okay. I'm gonna go gradually lighter. It's supposed to be a little bit lighter, and then it'll be even lighter. Maybe a little blue. Tell you, it's been really hard for me to pick up a paintbrush during this whole epidemic we're having because I don't know why. It's just everything seems like it's happening very slow, and the days seem to be going by really fast. So it makes me feel like I don't have like the time to do it, even though I have like all the time in the world. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry here, but I'm gonna come back and make that a little bit darker. Now this, do I want that to be really dark, or do I want it to be? I think it needs to kind of match the colors here. Make it a little different, so I'm gonna make it pretty close, maybe a little darker. it's so satisfying to me to complete large areas. When I'm working on things that have a lot of really tiny details, and I'm only working in one area, it's less satisfying. So I really wanted to do this part with you guys today. So, because I knew it would be satisfying for me personally. See the whole thing emerge. Question: does Couplet Fern, do they do like nature walks and stuff? Do you guys take people on tours out into natural areas? I ask because every month, nice. I the Native Plant Society has been really, really helpful for me to get reference photos because not only are you in a natural area where you can get those photos, but you're with people who are like, have like a freaky amount of knowledge about plants, who can just tell you what everything is. Cause like, as an artist, I know how to paint, but I know a little bit about plants, but I don't know that much about them. Like, I can't tell you what the species is or anything. So like, I'll research and research about this one plant and then like not be able to find it in the landscape, or so people can help me find it. And then if I find another kind of plant that looks really cool, normally those things will end up in paintings also. Things that I've learned while I'm out with the Florida Native Plant Society or something. And then the people there can tell me what it is. Because it's hard to like, you find a really nice looking plant, you're not sure if it's native or not. So I definitely love going to these little nature walks you guys do. Everybody's so knowledgeable about plants. There we go. Okay. There we go. Almost done with this top part here. I like how much foliage is happening right now. I'm really happy with this little corner up here. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to keep adding fronds to the middle section down here until I get an amount that I like. I'm not sure there's quite enough at this moment. Yeah, I've been really loving my experience with the community around native plants here in Florida. It's a really great community. I don't know if other people in other states have this, if it's just a culture here in Florida, but I feel like there's a lot of people who really care about native plants. Like it's just a very pure passion for them, which seems surprising to me, to be honest. A little bit surprised by how popular native plants have become in Florida. I don't know why, but for some reason it just every time I go to these walks with people with the Native Plant Society, especially, I'm always hearing just an amazing level of knowledge come out of people. All right. I think my phone died.
No worries, Kim. I think that is good. You've been going at it for an hour. Would you like to go on a little bit more?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, my phone just died.
I love it. This is
Yeah.
wonderful.
That was an hour?
That was well over an hour, so
Oh wow.
you did great.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it just goes by really fast.
It does. Like they say, when you're having fun, time goes by fast.
Yeah. It's a little unnerving whenever I'm painting and I get into something and all of a sudden it's like 7 o'clock at night.
Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, I did. I was a little nervous at first, but it was totally fine after that. It's nice to have a group of people to be accountable to. Like, yeah, I gotta paint this and paint it well, and I gotta sit here and do it.
I love it. You had just general people joining in on the conversation. You had family. You had me as your friend joining you. It was wonderful.
It really was. Yeah, thanks so much for this experience. That was great.
Yeah. So I look forward to doing with you again, and it seems to be a really burgeoning partnership. Um, I hope you would be okay with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you want to, if you have requests also for things to paint, I mean,
No.
as an artist, I feel like I rely on people who know a lot about plants to tell me what's cool sometimes too. Like I don't know what all the plants are, and it helps me learn also what the plants in Florida are, and that's really valuable to me. So I really kind of try to bother scientists and enthusiasts as much as I can. So
Right.
this is terrific, honestly, for me to do
You're
this
wonderful.
kind of stuff.
Thank you so much, Kim. You've been great. I can't thank you enough. Um, we haven't accrued enough donations, but hopefully over time we can, sponsor you into the FNPS fold. And
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm just really happy to be here.
um, I agree. I'm so honored for you to be with us. I look forward to doing this with you again. We can do it on YouTube, and then we can also post it on Facebook. So that will be
Great.
wonderful.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I'm gonna keep painting probably.
Okay. All right, Kim. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.